Okay, so this is just a quick tutorial on marking menus and how you can use marking menus to speed up your workflow. So to start off with, what is a marking menu? So in Maya, if you right click anywhere in the scene and hold, you'll come up with this menu, and this is called a marking menu. It'll have certain sorts of commands, and it's got this little line here in the middle that you can go around, and the blue part is whatever option you want to select. So the places where this is used is if you're wanting to edit some objects, like this is a polygon cube, and instead of using all the tools up here, if you're using it repeatedly throughout like a long project, it will be time consuming. From, if you want in object mode, going up here, selecting what type of objects you want to select, and then going back and editing them. And then, so like if you want to do faces, you have to come back up here, and over a long period of time this can take up a lot of time. So a quick way to do this is on your polygon object with it selected, you can right click and hold, or you can also do this to the side, and there we can see the different objects that make up this polygon object and different commands. So using this we can go to vertex mode, and this will select vertex mode so we can move some vertices about. Then holding down again we can quickly move to face mode and select some faces. Okay, and also underneath you'll get things that depend on this cube. So the P cube one here, we can select it. We can select hierarchy. This is the only thing in the hierarchy, but it's like if you had a chain of joints. If you select the root joint and then select hierarchy, that'll select all the joints. So with a lot of joints, that can be really quick. And also there's different things like assign new material, so we can assign a blend to this without having to go into the hypershader or anything like that. Or you can assign existing materials, so there we are, that's that blend we've just made. Or you can remove material override, which is to do with render layers and things like that. But there's all these different things you can do just by right clicking on the object and bringing up the marking menu. Now another way you can use this is hold down the space key, and this will bring up this marking menu. Now if you don't see all these different options, this is if it looks something like this where it's just got two commands, what you can do is right click on hotbox controls and go to show all, and that'll open up all the menus. So what these holding down space key, what this will do is this will bring up all the commands that can be used from the commands above. So things like where there's polygon here, surfaces, dynamics and animation. If you hold down, so we'll go to polygon, as you'll notice there's select, mesh, edit mesh, things like that. So if we hold down space in the polygon section, as you'll see there's the same things like select, mesh, edit mesh. And if we right click on them again, we'll get all the commands that are in that menu up there. So without having to go between different things up here, we can hold down space in the workspace, right click on different things to choose what we want. So animate, we can choose different things, then we can go to polygon, dynamics, all these different things. And on top of that, where it says Maya in the middle, we can right click on that and choose perspective at different angles, so different orthographic views. So we can use this by tapping the space key to switch between our views, which were predefined. But if you're working on an object like this for a long period of time, you can quickly tab and go into perspective, go into the top, edit some things about, go into the four views without having to go to side and click all these buttons or dig into these different menus and try and search for them. So that's a quick way you can use different things like that. And another tip is we use QWERTY, so QWERT, for the different commands on here. So W's to move, R's to rotate, things like that. Now holding down W and left click and hold, what that'll do is then that'll bring up those tool settings. So at the moment we've got move tool selected, so if we select these, if we hold down W and left click, we can choose what type of things we want. So what type of orientation do we want? So we want the world, and you'll see that will change. If we do that again, as you can see, going on these different menus with the arrows, what that'll do is go into the next menu of things. So you have to be careful with bumping into them. So we can go back to objects, different things like that. So another thing is, as we said, like if we want reflection, we can go up to reflection, it'll bring up another marking menu, and then we can turn reflect on, so that'll reflect across there. And then again, if we go to reflection, we can choose which types of reflection we want. And that will also work for things like rotation tool. We can choose different rotations here. If you want to go to gimbal lock, gimbal, things like that. So that's just a really quick way that you can get into a lot of menus just by using marking menus and not digging into all these different menus up here.